This is Mrs. O'Neill for your Chapter 2 Review Questions and Problems. You're going to go through the video by pausing to when you see the question or the problem. And again, sometimes there are multiple parts. You're going to answer mentally or on paper. Again, I suggest having your calculator, paper, and your reference sheets available. You're going to play the video then to see the answers on the next slide. And sometimes I show you the solution or maybe a game plan. And some of these are going to be above and beyond what you will see on the test in class, but will help you on that AP exam, especially for the free response questions. So here's your number one, and before you get started, this you should actually be able to do without a calculator and without your periodic table, because notice how the elements are given to you in those numbers. So those numbers represent something. The top number represents something and the bottom represents something. So notice it doesn't matter what element it is, it's just asking for protons and neutrons. So pause and see if you can do this without a calculator and without a periodic table. So hopefully you came up with these answers. So again, your top number here is your atomic mass, and your bottom number is your atomic number. So that atomic number always equals the number of protons, which in a neutral atom also equals the number of electrons. So you're going to take your mass minus your number, again, something you should be able to do without a calculator to get your number of neutrons. And this is something that I see quite often on your multiple choice. Again, multiple choice part of the exam, you can't use a calculator. So this is something to make sure to practice that you can do. Number two. Here's your answer to number two. Again, this is the dimensional analysis way. And we're using Avogadro's number because we're dealing with atoms in a mole. However, some of you might have done it the quote-unquote thinking way. Again, this looks like very, very complex. Looks like you're doing multiple parts versus the dimensional analysis way. It's a straight shoot. So you can look at each one or both of those different ways of doing it, but your answer is the same. Number three, here you probably need your periodic table. And here are your answers, and hopefully those make sense. Number four is just nomenclature. So again, you need to list the cation, the anion, the formula, and the name. And again, you should have out your periodic table that you'll be able to use for your exam, but nothing else. So hopefully you pause and hopefully you came up with all of your positive cations, your negative anions, the formula that it would produce, and the name. And so pause and check your answers. And see you in class.